Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan met in Lviv. This was reported to UNIAN in the office of the president. Zelensky met his colleague in the Turkish delegation on the porch of the Potocki Palace. After that, the leaders of the states began negotiations. United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres also arrived in Lviv, with whom the presidents will hold tripartite talks. In addition, as part of today's visit to Ukraine by Erdogan and a large Turkish delegation, Turkish Defense Minister Hulusi Akara has already held talks with his Ukrainian counterpart Alexei Reznikov, the Turkish Defense Ministry reports. During the meeting, an exchange of views took place on bilateral and regional issues of defense and security, the statement says without detailing the meeting. As Zelensky later said on Telegram, the Turkish president's visit to Ukraine is a weighty message of support from such a powerful country. According to him, during a meeting in Lviv, they discussed with Erdogan the possibility of improving the grain initiative, the situation around the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant and nuclear blackmail by the occupiers, as well as the large-scale theft of grain by Russia in the temporarily occupied territory of Ukraine. We also touched upon issues of defense cooperation. I am sure that further expansion of cooperation between Ukraine and Turkey will strengthen both sides, Zelensky said. According to the press service of the head of state, during the meeting, interest was noted that Turkey would continue to remain a reliable partner of Ukraine. The leaders discussed the full range of bilateral relations and agreed that further expansion of cooperation between states will strengthen both sides. Zelensky also told Erdogan that the invaders appropriated almost 0.5 million tons of Ukrainian grain. During the discussion of the situation at the ZNPP, the president of Ukraine stressed that the mission and duty of each country should be a tough and consistent response to any manifestations of nuclear blackmail in order to stop it. Russia must withdraw its troops from the station immediately, the head of state stressed. Zelensky also expressed hope for the participation of the president of Turkey in the second summit of the Crimean platform. It should be noted that this is Erdogan's first visit to Ukraine since the start of the war. Today, the Turkish president arrived in Lviv at the invitation of Zelensky. In addition to the already well-known topic of negotiations on the way to end the war in Ukraine, Erdogan, together with his Ukrainian counterpart Zelensky, will assess Turkish-Ukrainian relations at the level of strategic partnership. As UNIAN reported earlier, during the visit of the Turkish president, a trilateral meeting with the participation of President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky and UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres is envisaged. The meeting will discuss steps that can be taken to end the Ukrainian-Russian war through diplomacy. President Volodymyr Zelensky has said negotiations with Russia are possible only when Russian troops leave the illegally occupied territory. Details. At the same time, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said that he keeps faith that the war will end at the negotiating table. Erdogan said that not only Ukraine, but the whole world felt the positive results of the Istanbul Agreement. Also, the president of Turkey intends to discuss with the leader of the aggressor country Vladimir Putin the results of the Lviv negotiations with Zelensky and Guterres. The head of the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry Dmitry Kuleba, following the meeting, said that no one persuaded us to make concessions in favor of Russia. President Volodymyr Zelensky met with UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres in Lviv. According to him, they agreed to continue coordination on the implementation of the grain initiative. In addition, issues of illegal and forced deportation of Ukrainians, release of Ukrainian military personnel and doctors from captivity were discussed at the meeting. Special attention was paid to the topic of Russia's nuclear blackmail at the Zaporozhye NPP. This deliberate terror by the aggressor can have global catastrophic consequences. Therefore, the UN must ensure the security of this strategic facility, its demilitarization and complete liberation from Russian troops, Zelensky stressed.